handler Max Butterworth has been called in to do a search of a seized vehicle. He works with two dogs, Jax and Krillin, a drugs dog who is getting the nod this afternoon.
Krillin's just a maniac. He's energetic, hyperactive, very good at what he does. He's good fun to watch because he's just so hyperactive. And if he does find something, you watch him going from being super hyperactive to being completely stopped and silent, solid.
Cops have seized a van they suspect was involved in the burglary of a catering company.
The officers are seizing the vehicle. They've made 2 arrests, and those 2 people have gone off to custody now. There's some intimation that the driver may be dealing drugs. There's some intelligence to support that.
The driver refused to give a drugs test at the roadside.
We suspect that he's done that because he knows he's got definitely drugs in his system and he's likely to fail it. So we're going to search the vehicle under the Misuse of Drugs Act.
Time to search.
Matt employs a vigorous procedure for searching.
You don't want to miss anything, so if you stick to the same method of searching every time you do it, then hopefully you won't miss things. That's the theory.
Let's do this thing.
We tend to do the inside first, and then
Inside,
the road bay and the
outside, exterior.
Making sure that you overlap wherever you're searching. You don't just stop, just keep overlapping to make sure that we don't miss any point.
Matt's suspicions are aroused immediately.
Okay, you can see straight away that without using the dog, there's quite a bit of paraphernalia in there. There's like a large amount of lighters. You tend to find with people that are using particularly heroin, there'll be lighters all over the place. There's also Jif lemon in there. That's something we expect to find. It's the citric acid that's in the Jif lemon, and they use that to kind of purify what they're injecting.
Matt must be careful when searching for potential drugs.
The main issue with this now, in terms of my safety and the dog's welfare, is that we expect to find needles.
As part of police procedure, and to counter any claims of planting evidence, Matt records the search on his bodycam.
Good boy. Where is it? Good lad. Get on, find it. Good boy. Where? Find it. Get on. Rest. Rest. There goes the tornado that is Krillin. I'm looking for heightened interest, which is what we're getting here. And then when he settles with that interest, that'll turn into a freeze, which is what we've got there. Where is it? Where? Get on, find it where? We'll get him back out of the van, and then we'll physically check that out now.
While Krillin enjoys a rest, Matt examines the area he was pointing to.
So they've got a loose panel there.
That's a loose panel.
It looks promising.
Alright, this is quite obviously a bit of a stash in here.
A stash.
Okay, there we go. You'll see that we've got a pipe in there, a sort of improvised pipe. So a set of digital electronic scales. It tells me that somebody likes weighing something quite small. We've got a knife there with a locking blade. You shouldn't have that in a public place without reasonable authority or lawful excuse.
Nice.
We'll seize that. There's the roll of aluminium foil. There's a carrier bag in there with all sorts of things in.
Without Krillin, Matt would never have found the concealed stash.
You necessarily go in there, know that was loose, know to pull that off. You wouldn't necessarily do that, would you? I mean, you'd open the glove box, but would you rip the dashboard to pieces? Well, I would suggest not without some reasonably good sort of information that there might be something in there.
Krillin's sense of smell is so strong that he's able to locate stuff that's been used for drug taking, even if it only has minute amounts of residue on.
It looks like this is mainly the works that he's using to take his drugs again. There's going to be sharps. But more interestingly,
You come to your bed 1 o'clock. Do you hear me? Turn that down.
This may just be wrappings from previous drug use. when the drugs are
What's the
sold,
kitchen
not
light on
and
for?
they're wrapped in cling film. But looking at the size of some of these pieces and the amount of powder that's left in residue on them, there's been some reasonable weights in amongst this. I mean, you don't need that for a single deal.
There's plenty more drug paraphernalia, but still no drugs.
So it just confirms what we suspect, really, and gives us a little bit more with the scales that potentially we are looking at somebody that's out there, a street-level dealer. So it's one for intelligence, helps us to build a picture.
During a final search of the van, Matt comes across something interesting. But is it drugs?
I think it's Jacob's crackers.
Jacob's crackers.
Yeah. That's not been opened.
The box of crackers looks innocent enough, but it may be evidence that connects with the earlier burglary at the catering company.
There's a great big tub of Jacob's cream crackers behind the passenger seat in the van. Do you know if that's pertinent or not? We need to get to the crunch of it, I suppose. Okay.
Matt and Krillin may not have found any drugs, but their search has been worthwhile.
Unfortunately, no significant quantities of drugs in there today, but there's some evidence to suggest that there has been reasonable quantities of drugs in there from the wrappings that we found, and that certainly there's been a frequent use of drugs for the occupants of that vehicle, and stuff that wouldn't necessarily have come to our notice without the dog. So yeah, pays off in the end, all the training.